Everywhere you look, the headlines are saying the same thing. The Canadian housing market is slowing down. Newsacres are calling it a cool down. Some realtors are saying it's a bubble deflating. But here's the truth. That's not what's happening here in Lethbridge. Here, it's the total opposite. I guess we forgot to get the memo, Lethbridge. Like, come on. Prices are climbing, listings are shrinking, and demand is holding strong. And if you're sitting back waiting for the market to cool off, you might be in for a shock because Lethbridge, the heat is just started and summer just finished. Let's start with prices because that's what most people care about. In June 2025, the average close price in Lethbridge was $439,000 compared to just over $403,000 of June of 24. That's an 8.9% increase. July in 25 came in at nearly $433,000. That's up from $393,000 of last year. That's a 10.3% jump. And in August of 25, the average close price was $437,000 compared to $395,000 of last year. And that's a 10.7% increase across the summer. So prices rose between 9 to 11% year over year. For buyers, that means if you sat on the sidelines last year waiting for the cool down, that your home you were eyeing just cost you a bigger mortgage. And for sellers, it means your property is worth more than today than you might even think. Now let's talk about supply. Active listings are actually down compared to last year. In June of 25, there were 309 active listings compared to 366 of June of 24. That's a 15.6% drop. In July, 314 versus 389, a 19.3% decline. And in August, 332 listings down from 363. That's an 8.5% decrease. So even though demand is steady, there simply are fewer homes to choose from. It's basic macroeconomics. When buyers are competing for fewer homes, sellers are in the driver's seat. And hey, if you're finding this breakdown helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future market updates. And if you're a buyer, seller, or just an investor trying to figure out where your next move is going to be, reach out. I'd be happy to walk you through my personalized strategy. My contact info is down in the description below. Here's where things get interesting. The number of sales has dipped slightly compared to last year. In June of 25, we had 186 sales compared to 200 in June of 24. That's a 7% drop. July, 197 sales compared to 200 of last year, which was basically a flat line at 1.5% lower. In August, 185 sales compared to 191 of last year, so a 3% decrease. So yes, sales are technically down, but here's the kicker. Prices are still going up. Why? Here are a few reasons. Lower inventory. With fewer homes on the market, buyers don't have as many options, even if there are fewer overall sales. The homes that do sell often go for more money because buyers are competing for the limited supply. Stronger demand for the quality properties. Not every house is flying off the shelf, but the well-priced homes in move-in ready homes in desirable areas, those are still attracting multiple offers. And affordability relative to bigger cities. Compared to Calgary, Edmonton, and Lethbridge, Lethbridge is still more affordable, and that keeps a steady demand flowing into our market while the other markets tend to cool off. So when you combine fewer sales with fewer listings and strong buyer demand, the good properties, you end up exactly seeing what we're seeing. Prices continue to rise despite fewer transactions. What does this all mean if you're in the market right now? For buyers waiting on the sidelines, this could cost you tens of thousands of dollars. The market here isn't following the national headline. So if you're serious, you need a clear strategy to get you in the home before prices climb even further. For sellers, you're in a strong position. Fewer listings means less competition, and the stats show buyers are still willing to pay if your home is priced and marketed correctly. You're going to get attention and potentially multiple offers, and that's what you want when you're selling. For investors, rental demand in Lethbridge remains strong. And with prices climbing steadily, owning a property here continues to be a hedge against inflation and a smart long-term play. So while the national story is all about the slowdowns and cool-offs, here in Lethbridge, the reality is totally different. Prices are up between 9 and 11%. Listings are down between 8 to 19%, and even though sales are slightly down, demand is still strong, pushing the values even higher. If you take anything away from this video, it's that our market doesn't follow the national Lethbridge. This is Lethbridge. We play by our own rules. If you want to grab a coffee or a green tea, in my case, to talk about real estate or anything else, feel free to reach out anytime. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned to see the recent Bank of Canada updates and how this will impact the Lethbridge market. Till next time.